Good morning, y'all. What's today? I think today's March. I know today's Thursday, but the date is March. I think it's 4th. Hopefully, I ain't jumping the dates. I think it's March 4th, 2021. Let's see that. Let's check that again. Feel me? I don't want to be crucified for getting the dates wrong. Cause yes, it is. Today's Thursday, March 4th, 2021. Cause niggas will fucking crucify. He don't even know the date. Oh my god. You can't make a mistake with these niggas. They looking for a way out. You feel me? They looking for it. Your demise is what keeps them up. Anyway, man, good morning, man. I can't say it's a beautiful morning because the sun is not out. It looks very cloudy, rainy. As you can see, man, it's not really poking out yet. It's too much clouds out here. It's cock blocking. These clouds is cock blocking. You feel me? You know how shit go. Oh shit. Another way. This is my 4th day. I haven't even touched it. I ain't touched my cigarettes and nothing like that yet. You feel me? We just taking one day at a time. It's not like, I'm bragging or anything else like that. I'm just reminding myself, like, if you want to continue to keep this countdown going, then you cannot do otherwise. You feel me? Because you don't want to see, damn, well, I actually had to do it today. Nah. You had to do what, my nigga? You had to smoke today? Nah, not like that. So if you want to keep the countdown good, that's how I'm keeping it going right now. I'm like, I gotta keep the countdown going. I don't want that clock to stop. You dig? Hold on. Realest nigga in this bitch. I'm solo. I don't need a crew. Realest nigga in this bitch. I'm solo. I don't need a crew. Cloud talk, cloud talk. Does that cloud talk? Anyway, yeah, it's a nice morning. Feel me? Although the sun is not out, it's a little cloudy. It seems like it's about to rain. Um, I didn't even check the weather this morning because I just repeated my outfit from yesterday. Because yesterday I got off of work. As soon as I got to work, they was offering to time off, and I took it. So it was no need for me to even change my outfit because I'm about to go work in this shit anyway. Plus, these niggas be hating on me, secretly competing with me. Like, you feel me? Like, like these niggas like wanna match your clothes and shit. I'm like, yo, come on, man. What's going on, man? Why, why y'all try to compete with me? Like, that shit is weird as fuck, my niggas. You feel me? But if I gotta take a loss in my appearance, then fuck it, then so be it. At least I teach them how to be humble as I am humble. You feel me? So this is just another way of me teaching niggas how to conduct themselves. You ain't gotta throw on the latest outfit or the latest designs to be fly. You feel me? It's just how you carry yourself. Your confidence is what moves you forward and everything else like that. You feel me? And don't feel bad about it. Feeling confidence in what you're wearing, regardless of the nature or the fabric or the brand of it, is what makes it sexy and appealing. You feel me? That's just it. That's the game right there. Feel me? People respect. I have to throw that shit away. Anyway, the fuck? People respect it more. People respect it more if, I mean, if you have confidence, I mean, you're more attractive. You feel me? You become a magnet when you're not too caught up in what you're wearing and everything else like that. Yesterday, I was talking about a video that I saw on the Breakfast Club. You feel me? We're gonna get right to it. On Dr. Carl Hart, and he was talking about how we need to change our perspective on hard drugs. And today they have Dr. Stephen Perry on it, who was countering that argument that said it was dangerous for him to speak in that term Because in the places where he's been working in the neighborhoods, ghetto, New York, Harlem, Bronx, he's saying that that's not the reality over there. That is very dangerous for him to basically to be speaking in those kind of terms. And of course, I've listened to both of them, and I usually don't choose sides, but I agree with Dr. Carl Hart about his perspective on drug use. You feel me? Because the places that this guy said he worked at, this is the place where I grew up at. And I saw the same things that both of them have seen because I traveled too, my nigga, you feel me? And it's always based on the society and what is allowed in the society. People do not turn to, you have to understand this, man. Using drugs is the aftermath. It's like an aftershock. The earthquake has already happened, and the afterquake, when it comes, it seems worse than the earthquake itself. But that's just the aftermath of the problem that has already occurred already, and that's what drug is. People use drug because they're trying to. He said it himself. Dr. Stephen Perry said it himself. People use drugs to try to meditate their own self, try to suit their own self. So, which meaning that they wouldn't go to drugs if they didn't have a problem in the first place. So I'm only using the drugs, right, to escape a problem. But what is the problem? How do we, how, I say, how are we attacking the using of the drug when it's only an afterthought of what is really going on? Like, we got to look at the situation clearly and see what it is. You feel me? You just got to look at it like, you be like, okay, the reason why we use drugs, because there is a pain. You feel me? It's just like any other drug that is prescribed. You go to the pharmacy, they give you the drug because there is a pain over there. And a drug, what is the drug supposed to do? Most drugs do not cure the problem. What do? It's like a cover. It just cover up the problem. It numbs it. You feel me? It does not. Drugs, as a fact, does not work. So the best example or the best solution or the best advice you can give to somebody who's using hard drugs is not to use it in the first place. I think we all agree on that. That's a fact. But to those who have to use it, you feel me? Because we've been telling people not to use drugs for a very long time, and it hasn't worked. And I'll tell you the reason why it hasn't worked. I spoke about it yesterday. I'm going to speak about it briefly today. I'm not even going to go deep into this. The reason why it doesn't work because it's our government who's prescribing these drugs to us. Like, let's just call it for what it is, man. Cocaine, crack, and everything else used to be prescribed by doctors and everything else. And later on, we found out that, oh, this is not good for us. Now, Percocets and all these other drugs, Molly's and everything, these was also drugs that used to be prescribed by doctors. You feel me? So we are not looking at the problem itself. We always going around and attacking a drug. The drug ain't got shit to do with it. It's just like gun regulation. Guns can't shoot people. People with guns shoot people. So we never attack the real solution of the problem. We always look at the 0.1% of the problem and try to attack it from that solution. Because most of the people that's funding these things, you can't talk about this, you can't talk about that. So you're very limited in how you can really affect the situation. You feel me? And when a nigga like me pop up and I give y'all the research, some of it is just mental. You feel me? Y'all can do the research on your own. And if I have to prove something, I just pull up an article. And I give you the source of it, sources that you trust. You feel me? But I'm just going to go with my spiritual mentality. You feel me? Because I know it's right. I'm a true individual. My existence is truth. I'm pure. So when I speak truth only. You feel me? I don't have to do the research. But if I have to do the research, I'll pull up an article just to shut niggas up real quick and we can get back into the topic. You dig? But truth of the matter, we are not solving the problem that we're supposed to be solving. We just not. Like, they blaming the drug itself, and the drug is prescribed by the government. Then when the government deemed that this drug is wrong, that's when our perspective of it. What they don't understand It's perception and spirituality. That's what people do not understand. That whatever we demonize as a group, we give it a dark shadow. We give it a cloud. We give it this evil. We give it this evil outlook of it. You feel me? But it's only a select few who think for themselves. You feel me? Like I was watching the Breakfast Club today, I have to say. And of course, Dr. Stevie Perry was talking. It must be nice to earn the credentials to be called a Dr. Stevie Perry. I think congratulations on that itself. That man has earned some form of degree, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I have to agree with everything that he says. You feel me? I wish I was called doctor. I mean, I call myself the doctor, but for him to be called that, I think I can salute that. I'd be like, I respect that man a lot because it's like you've earned the thing that you've earned, but I'm not going to agree with you on certain things. And when it comes to this topic, I refuse to agree with you on that. Now we can sit down and talk about it. Now, I just want Dr. Perry and Dr. Hart to sit down and have a civil conversation. When I say civil, I don't mean yelling back and forth at each other and try to tear each other's heads off. I want them to have a civil conversation among the two. You feel me? That's all I want. I just want a civil conversation between the two. It's nothing hard. You feel me? That's what I really, really want them to go at it. And I believe that, you feel me? One is saying that the other person is at a privileged position, that he has all these faculty and he's working with this and he's working with that. And the other guy's complaining that he's really in the hood and he works. It's like it's tomato, tomatoes, tomatoes, and everything. It's still the same problem. It's still hard drugs. It doesn't matter if it's one is clean or one is not clean. I know the effects is different and everything else like that, but it's a personal responsibility. You feel me? If you're gonna put some form of drug in your system, I think you should get the cleanest one. Everybody know that. Why you snorting that? That shit stepped on, huh? Like we know not to put certain things in our body if it's too dirty. You feel me? Even when it's a dirty drug, you still gotta be conscious of it. I don't give a fuck how poor you are and everything else. That's just to the point where you just desperately need something and you don't care whether it's clean or not. Like it's crazy. And of course, you have drug dealers and people sell drugs not because they want to, because they have to. And that's why I said we're not really tackling the problem, poverty, you feel me? The environmental conditions that lead us to do these things. No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about the drug itself, and the drug is like a aftermath of what has already been occurring. You feel me? So I don't think people. So that's why I said they can tell you to quit. Don't use drugs. Don't use drugs. It does not matter. Certain things will lead you into that field. It leads you over there. So it's like if you don't take care of the poverty, if you don't take care of mental illness, if you don't take care of all these things that leads people to taking drugs for an escape, then it's like how can you tell people to stop taking drugs? We've been telling them for 50 years now, maybe more, and they have not stopped. So that's why I agree with Hart about his decision about okay, since we can't take care of those problems and we refuse to even acknowledge those problems exist, if you're gonna do the drugs, I think you should, consider doing it in a safe, clean way. And the orgasm shit, I think y'all blowing over proportion. Um, DJ Envy, I think he's traumatized by the things that he witnessed in his life. I think he's a little unreasonable. You feel me? Really, he is. Sometimes he do be unreasonable. I fucks with you, but sometimes you just be unreasonable and shit. I fucks with Angela E. I ain't even gonna lie. I like the way she thinks. She's very open-minded. You feel me? She's not close-minded, and that's one thing I like about her. And I have to say, I do be watching. I just don't watch the Breakfast Club because I like what they're doing. I've been following these people for a long time, especially DJ Envy. Angela E. I later on met her on the Breakfast Club. Then I looked into her other programs. She actually led me into doing the self, building your credit up and everything else like that. So shout out to Angela. I know I never said that before, but it's true. She had a platform in Harlem actually, and there was a lady who was testifying about self and everything else. Self is a program where you can build up your credit, and after that you end up with a credit card, which I have right now. So it basically grants you a CD loan, and you don't get the money back right away, but you're paying on a monthly basis. You feel me? And when you paying, then after that, at the end of the CD loan, you can actually get that money in cash, or you can transfer that money into a credit card where you can use it as a credit card. You feel me? And I decided to use it as a credit card instead of getting the money back that I was already paying for. Let him go. Let him go. Don't pay him no mind. He's just looking for attention. Anyway, thank you. So Angela E was on the stage with the CEO of Self and a lady who has been using Self for a very long time. And I was listening. I was listening. That was something that convinced me to yeah, that was something. Damn, what the fuck is that? Motherfuckers, to hurry up, chop chop. Yeah, that was something that convinced me to want to use Self itself. So shout out to Angela E for even pulling me up on that. So I do follow these people on different platforms and everything else like that. And of course, challenge, Champagne. I call that nigga Champagne the God. Of course, I thought he's all over the place. From when the Williams show when he first started out, we know about him being an intern and everything else like that. So I know a little bit of history about them, and I just don't watch the Breakfast Club just to watch it because it's entertaining, which it is entertaining. It has to be enduring, just like any other drug for you to go to. So that in itself that show can be addictive to people who like that kind of stuff. You feel me? But I've subscribed to the channel through YouTube. But when people like these doctors come on and the topic is that interesting, yeah, I run over there and I'm gravitated to that. You feel me? So I just had to put that out there that, if you subscribe to something, you always check the background of these people and know what you're dealing with. And the things that they're doing, like Angela E, this a little example that I use about the self. If it can help you, guess what? You take that into account and you use it. I don't think I even mentioned that up. Actually, she was the reason. It was a show where the lady came and she was testifying about it, and it was convincing enough. And I remember Angela E being there. It was in Harlem. They did it in Harlem. That was before COVID, pre-COVID, probably 2 years back, more than likely. Then I decided, you know what? I'm going to do it. Why? Because Angela E, Angela E is right there, and I like the way she thinks. She's very open-minded, and I'm like, and I just add two and two together. I'm like, you know what? But if it was somebody like, you know, somebody that I watch but I usually disagree with a lot, then I'd be like, I don't think I want to do that. But since Angela E is very open-minded and she a Capricorn, I'm like, you know what? She business orientated. You feel me? She's a go-getter, so why not go do it? And I don't want to give her no more showers like that after that. Sometimes in my field, when I give somebody too much showers, they tend to find something that's flaw about that person and want to bring it up to the surface because they so jealous. They want me to just talk about them and them alone. This is how hate came along my way because I didn't acknowledge somebody too much and I was showing somebody else too much love and the person got jealous. They're like jealous girlfriends sometimes. Like that should be crazy. Like it's like you having two girlfriends and you showing one girlfriend too much love and the other girlfriend got mad and started spreading rumors about you. Exactly what happened with the homies and friends and people I didn't even know. It's like, dang, that outfit is mean, my nigga. Where you got that from? And there's always that nigga in the back that just mad that you didn't acknowledge him. They're like, you didn't even know. And it be like that, my nigga. I ain't gonna lie. Anyway, that's just the topic for that. I'm gonna leave that hard drug, the perspective of it, and people have to know everything is spiritual. You feel me? Just you got to see it from that point of view. When I say spiritual, I'm not saying like to me the air is spiritual. That's things that you cannot see but you know is there. You feel me? The wind itself, the air, those are spiritual. The elements, I've always said that elements are spiritual to me. You feel me? I was listening to Nature Boy today too. I haven't listened to him in a long time. And I'm like, all right, all right. Nah, me just sometimes this is what I do, man. This is just gonna be my shit. This is just gonna be me just going through sentences and just explaining things that people may have wondered or had a thought in their mind. I watch several people on my YouTube channel, and some I don't even subscribe to. I just watch them because it's very interesting on certain topics, and I just watch them and I give time. And if the topic is very interesting over and over, I just subscribe to them. And some subscribers just gotta drop off because I don't want to have too many people I'm subscribing to. But sometimes the person that I'm subscribed to, sometimes I don't listen to them for a long time. because you don't want to take on somebody's mind. You feel me? This is very important to the things that you watch sometimes. Sometimes you just got to stop. If you a person that watch love and hip hop a lot, and you start to monitor your behavior, you get to see, you be like, oh shit, I'm starting to act like this particular person or my favorite character in this thing. So sometimes I could be watching somebody, I'm extracting the information, I'm taking the information, I'm taking the information, I'm taking the information. Then I'm like, you know what? I gotta take a break from this individual or all the information that they're giving me. You feel me? I gotta make sure that I let it marinate because I'm only taking what is good for me. So I'm just not taking everything in. And sometimes some of the information that you do take in is unconsciously. You don't know that you're taking it in, but you've taken it in because it's not the things that you acknowledge that you take in. You feel me? It's like drinking water. It's like you drinking the water. You're looking at the water that you're drinking, right? But it doesn't necessarily mean that you everything that you look at with you will drink water that you didn't. How can I even say this? If I'm drinking water and I'm looking at the water that I'm drinking, right, and I blink for a second, it doesn't mean just because I blink and I didn't see that water going doesn't mean I didn't take it in. And that's the same thing. And that's the same thing with information sometimes, you feel me? You could be taking in information that you did not know, especially when you're watching TVs and you watching people and their behavior and everything else like that. You taking in information that you didn't know. You take behavior is a form of information. Attitude, the way a person speaks, the way a person moves their hand, gesture, you feel me? Slickness of the person. You picking up all these things without even knowing and placing to your character, and sometimes you can't even see it. You feel me? That's how people go fat over a certain period of time, and they be like, damn, you got big. And it's like they even shocked they got that big because it's like you gaining weight without even knowing. You gaining information without even knowing. You feel me? Until it's too late. And you're like, oh, wow, I'm starting to act like this person, or I'm starting to be like this person. So that's why I said, that's why I always do the practice of, that's why I always do the practice of not always watching one particular individual and sometimes giving it a break and not watching it for a very long time. And sometimes giving it a break for not watching it for a very long time and still having my own mind to think for myself and let my own mind think these things on its own. You feel me? Although, I mean, it's the internet age. I came from an era where I didn't have access to this much information. You feel me? So I know how easily it is for you to be taking so much information in and not knowing what the nucleus of the purpose of what you're taking it in as. You can be attaching information to things that don't need attachment to. You have parts to things that you put all of them in the wrong place. You can have an arm but put it in the place of a leg. You feel me? You just gotta let that shit marinate in you sometimes, and that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you just gotta give your favorite show a break, or you just gotta give a regular show, an average show that you watch a break. Give it a break for a very long time. Not just the individual, but the content of what they're talking about. If it's based on spirituality, give that spirituality a break for a little bit. If it's based on finance, give it a break for a little bit. Because you've already collected. Yo, can these niggas get off my shit? God damn. If it's based on finance, give it a break for a little bit. If it's based on sexuality, give it a break a little bit. If you watch too much porn, give it a break a little bit. Let it marinate. The information that you're collecting, let it marinate. You feel me? Let it collect. Let it build itself up. It's like, this right here. It's like leaves or ground. Like sometimes you water it. When you water these things, right? Guess what happens? You gotta let it build for a little bit. It takes a little bit of time for it to mature. You feel me? We live in a system where most of the fruits in our supermarket, it's crazy. It's like these things are just being pulled off their mother's tree fast. They ain't even mature yet. You feel me? And that's the same thing we have in our society today. Some of these girls, they ain't even mature mentally yet. As soon as they hit a certain age, they're right there on the market, and everybody's trying to run through them. You feel me? That's because we haven't lived the life where I grew up in Africa, right? And I told this story once before, and this story always plays into my life itself. And I had a mango tree in my backyard, and the patience I had to have for these mango trees to grow is the patience that I've learned through life, and it has carried me a very long way. You understand? That's why things cannot affect me the way it's supposed to affect me, because it's not because of the idea of a mango tree, but it's the idea of just being in nature and seeing how things are formed. You understand? Like just watching the mango tree grow from non-existent to being in existent, then going through a green state of a green form state, then becoming some wrap, whatever they call it, yellow and no, is it no yellow and red? You feel me? Start getting its color and its shape in until it gets to its mature state. Then I take it down. You understand? But literally take it down. You feel me? It's like a bitch. But you have to wait for that process. I couldn't rush that process. You feel me? And it was a mango tree, so the tree was a little taller than it was supposed to be, and it was far from my reach. So it also gave me the patience to watch it as it developed. You feel me? And every day just checking up on it. Sometimes you don't even have to climb the tree to take it down. Once it gets to its mature stage, once all the information is developed within that mango itself, sometimes it automatically releases itself and drops to the floor. When I come, sometimes it's already there for me, and I pick it, clean it off, and eat it. Feel me? Sometimes I don't even clean it. I was so excited I had to eat it right away. I had to eat that bitch. You feel me? So these are the things that you have. If you grew up in a farm, well, not a farm, but if you grew up in nature like me, where you had, if you grew up in nature like me, where you had the opportunity to grow your own tree, you feel me, cook your own food, raise your own cattle and everything else, it plays into your decisions that you make in your life and the patience and the humbleness of you and everything else like that. But I'm not trying to downgrade the United States, because they look at California. California has a large Mars. So somebody grew up like me in California too. But for those people who grew up in a city who didn't have those opportunity, where we had the corner store, we had the chicken store, we had the fried food and everything else like that. Everything was, you know, that's why they call it a convenience store. Deli, grocery. You feel me? Things that instantly give you. You never went through the patience of having to, plug a chicken, put it in the hot water, waiting for it to boil so the feathers can come off it. Then from there, you pluck the rest of it out, then have to cut it, the intestines and everything else. If you never went through that form of excitement, you wouldn't know the development stage that it takes for you to get to a certain point. You feel me? That's what I'm trying to tell y'all, right? That's why most of the things that we do, most of the people do not understand it. They want to rush things. You feel me? They don't have no patience for anybody or anything. Hold on, this is the favorite part where I have always got to walk and check my surroundings, because people be driving by. Because this road is very narrow, you feel me? So as I'm walking down this road right here, this is what happened every other day. I have to point it out. You feel me? I was going to walk on top of the hill right here, but today it's kind of drizzling. So it's going to be wet and nasty and muddy, and I don't want to have to step on all this nasty shit. But back to the story, feel me? But I still gotta watch myself and see no cars trying to creep up on me. Cause as you can see, I'm gonna show you the can. It's a narrow road, you feel me? I still got a few more steps or miles or feet to go. I can't measure it, but yeah, I'm still going. But this is what I'm saying. I always relate back to this story when I was in Africa, because I feel like it has helped me become the man that I am today a lot. Although I learned other things in Africa, but it always bring me back to that stage and like, okay, just being patient and being waiting and everything else like that. There's nothing wrong with it. Feel me? There really ain't nothing wrong with it. I know I'm all over the place with it, and I'm speaking on different topics, and I'm speaking on, but it's very, very important that you do coach and you do, what do you call that word? Vet the things that you take in consistently. You feel me? Allow allow yourself, especially when you're watching these YouTube channels, because I want to bring it back to the reason why I went into my story in the first place. And that's a blessing alone, to be giving you so much information with different parts and different components that had to be touched to make sense of it and to bring it back to the subject itself. And I'm grateful for that. But when you're on these YouTube channels and everything else, allow yourself to take a break from it a little bit. You feel me? So you don't have, these topics because I can't say the individual, because the only thing the person is doing is just putting out content constantly. But you don't want this. You don't want to allow these topics to control who you are as a person. Not just this YouTube channel. I'm talking about on TV, the things that you see in your neighborhood and everything else. Sometimes you just gotta tune things out a little bit so you can sit with your own mind. You feel me? Just like that mango tree. Like you just gotta have some form of patience. You feel me? Allow things to develop on their own and allow yourself to develop on your own. But now I mean building up some form of patience and everything else. You gotta humble yourself. Feel me? I know it's easy for you to the strength. I've always said this strength is not how you displace your hammer and how well you can just hit something. Hold on, let me finish this stuff first, and I'm gonna show you the beautiful picture because that picture ain't going nowhere. So strength does not come from how much power or pressure you can display. Strength comes from you knowing that you can do that, but yet but yet withholding that energy. That's strength, in my opinion. You feel me? And I'll wait for science to prove it later on, but this is what I'm saying. That's strength. Strength is basically humbling yourself to the point where you know what you're capable of doing, but you're resisting that power for a better cause. Basically, to me, that's strength itself. That's more humbling. Humbling yourself is the greatest strength you can ever have. You feel me? That's like just it's. I think it's a beautiful thing to do. But check it. Let me show you this part right. Whew. Look at that mountain and the cloud. It's like it's like the cloud is like a sheet of it's like a cotton of sheets. That's just it looks like it's being stripped away from the mountain right now. It's like you get the it's like when you about to wake up and half the sheet is on your leg and everything else like that. That's what the crowd look like on the mountain right now. It's like the mountain is like get off me, get off me. Feel me? I almost stopped the video, but let's get back to it. Yeah, let's get back to it. Feel me? Now, so that's why I said sometimes I take breaks from these TV shows or take breaks from saying things that I do because I don't want it to be something that I'm taking in without even knowing. Where it's shaping and molding my behavior without even me even knowing or acknowledging it. You feel me? Because sometimes it can change your perspective on things. If I was to just allow society to determine that using some form of hard drugs is bad and this is bad and bad, and I don't look at the whole science and the whole nature of it, then I'll be like, look, man, I'll start thinking like them. And when I do think like them, I might even expand their thoughts and everything else like that. And I don't want it to be that. You feel me? I think it's very, very important that you start to make your own thought and start to develop your own way of thinking, see it from your own perspective. I think it's very, very important. But the reason why I even brought it back to that drug thing again, which I said I was not, the reason why I brought it back to even that drug thing again, which I said I was not, is that um, when you take a look at the totality of it, they talk about hard drug this and hard drug that. Most of those prescription drugs are hard drugs too, my nigga. Let's stop. It's just a lot of money has been put behind it to make you feel like it's not a hard drug. Have you ever listened to the side effects of some of these drugs? Like, come on, man. Why do we keep lying to ourselves? That's the shit that makes me mad because you have people that are in certain positions that need to be telling the truth, but they're so emotionally caught up in some form of image that's like it's like they're not. It's not that they're not willing to tell the truth. They're not thinking beyond their own emotions to get your emotions out the way, so you can let the truth in. You feel me? Your emotions are like a mist. It's like a cloud on that mountain I just showed you, disrupting the picture of the truth itself. You understand? When I hear these commercials and they tell you about the side effects, I'm like, God damn, nigga, what are we curing? It can't. It cannot be that. It got to be crazy, but like it got to be. Like, what are we really curing, my nigga? Like it's like The side effects is worse than the thing that you're trying to cure itself. So what are we looking at? We looking at the hard drug. What are we looking at? Like the hard drug and the prescription drugs are both equally bad, and yet we praise one and demonize another one because people has attacked the way we think. That's all. Like the way you think is being under attack because you have allowed these people to feed you what you think is right and what you think is wrong. This is the reason why it comes right back down to what I was saying. Give it a break. Give these shows a break so you can allow the information that you've taken in and see if it makes sense within you. Let your truth speak to it. You feel me? That's the reason why I'm saying what I'm saying. Let your truth be patient. Allow these things to develop within you like a mango fruit. You feel me? And let your truth speak to it. And if it's true, guess what? It will naturally drop to you. The knowledge will naturally come to you. And that's what I'm saying, my niggas. You feel me? So when I hear both doctors speak, I'm like, I'm going with Carl Hart because he makes more sense to me when I let this shit sit in me. And I'm like, yo, even to take a simple Viagra is like it's crazy. You hear the side effects. To take some of these drugs, just a regular drug, the side effects is crazy. And I'm like, yo, is it even safe to take? Like, the only people who can survive from taking this drug is a healthy person, which means that person do not need to be taking the drug because the person is already healthy. You feel me? There's no way a person who has a mind, a reasonable thinking individual, would think that an unhealthy person can take this drug and not develop other diseases. This is the reason why people go into hard drugs anyway, quote unquote hard drugs, you feel me? That's because the prescription that's being prescribed leads them into these kind of drugs. They become addicted to the drug that they're taking. You feel me? And they be having kids, and these kids be stealing their drugs from their grandparents and shit like that. Because it seeks into the womb of the baby and everything else, and these baby grow up not even knowing that that's what it is. They're like, oh shit, it feels like you had this drug before. Yeah, but nigga, you did, because maybe when your mother was pregnant, she was prescribed with some form of drug, and guess what? Now you know the taste of it, the feeling of it, and everything else. Now that you own it, you feel like you're home. You're like, this feels like me. No, it's not. It just your information has been contaminated due to the prescription that was given. You feel me? These drug companies ain't gonna be honest with you, nigga. They're in the business of making money. They will never create a drug that will literally eliminate everything. No, they need you to keep coming back, just like any trap dealer or dope dealer. You feel me? We want them to keep coming back. And everybody's being a chemist in their own way. Even the ones that went to school, so-called school, and learned how to be chemists, and they're cooking up these drugs. You feel me? It is what it is, man. So you just gotta let this shit sit in you, let it marinate. That's with any other information. You can not just drug, any information. I just want people to start thinking for themselves. You feel me? Just take a look at the side effects alone. That shit is scary. They talk about side effects. It's crazy. You might develop an extra kidney. I'm like, yeah, what the fuck? What are we taking? Some cyber genetic computing? Like, you developing a whole nother person. Like, they got niggas growing titties on their back. And I'm like, yo, that's crazy. And that's the drug that's supposed to cure one disease. And I'm like, nah, I'm keeping mine. Fuck out of here, my nigga. Let me just breathe air. Hopefully that should get killed. Fuck that. You feel me? So you can't judge a book by its cover like they always say. You definitely can. If somebody's on drugs, let's not demonize these people. I think that's where the true problem is. Like, you feel me? We be demonizing these people, and half of the time you on the same drug as this person just because your shit was prescribed. You thinking you better than this person, but nigga, your shit is worse because they had to pay people just to keep their mouth shut about how dangerous the drugs that you taking. So that makes it even more worse. You feel me? But it is what it is, man. We're not even going to entertain these individuals and fools. You feel me? Now let me get back to I know I wasn't going to talk about this. Might as well talk about it because I got a few more minutes. You feel me? About the whole the so-called Asians attack that's going on in around the world and in just America. I seen a parade that's being formed. A few hundreds of people were formed in New York City to condemn the Asian racism that's going on. And we seen Chuma, you know him, Chuck Chuma, come out there in that parade, and he's out there spilling out hate. That's what he was doing. He's a hateful individual. So of course he's gonna spill out hate and fear mongering among other people. And like, if you attack us, you attack all of us. And it's like, separative talking. Because if they're acknowledging the fact that they're saying there's some African American, they didn't even say some. They made it seem like the African American community is attacking Asian Americans. That don't even make sense. When everybody was, how can it just be African Americans? If we just take it upon ourselves to attack the Asian American community when everybody was affected equally. We talking about businesses. We talking about people that died. We talking about the Hispanic community also got affected. The white community got affected. Even the own Asian community got affected. Then all of a sudden they just gonna take that line and blame it on African American because you have two incidents that was caught on tape and that's all they went on with and they ran with that idea. Come on, man, that shit is weak. We gotta call it for what it is. It's weak. This is another form of separative, and this is what the governments do. But I remember once upon a time when the same thing was going. This was pre-COVID, by the way, in New York City. When then Asian people attacked those black ladies on separate occasions, I ain't see Chuck Schumer gay ass come out talking about if you attack us and this is wrong and anything else like that. We came out for ourselves. This is what I be talking about with these black leaders sometimes. When something happens to the Asian community and is done by white people or any other community, we come out there and we fight for these things. We be like racism this and racism that, rightfully so. But what about when everybody else is fighting against us for something that's so senseless as this? You have two kids who did something very stupid and now they're blaming the whole black community for it. Come on, man. And you got Chuck Schumer out there like this has to stop. And I'm like, Chuck Schumer, are you fucking kidding me, man? You wouldn't open New York State. You would not open businesses in New York State, but yet you always have a rally and all these people are together and you out here shouting as if as if each and every one of them took a vaccine shot and used that safe out there. But yeah, you can't let these small businesses open. Come on, this nigga's full of shit, man. I'm tired of these government officials. This is what they do. These niggas is full of shit, my nigga. I'm telling you, man. They're just opportunists that do are not willing to take responsibility for anything else. So every little thing that occurred, they exploit, enhance that they just enhance what it could be. You feel me? They just make it larger. And that shit is probably 0.1%. And they just enlarge it and be like, this is what it is, and this is wrong. And I'm fuck out of here, man. Like, you feel me? But you know what I mean? We waking up and we thinking for ourselves and shit like that. Because we actually keeping records of things that do happen. We got to keep the records now. Because if you allow the news to keep the records, when they report it, keep a record in your mind. You feel me? That's what you do. You keep that record in your mind. Be like, well, that don't make sense. I remember when this. I'd be like, yeah, I remember when this happened and that happened. You feel me? And they talk about Asian Americans and this. But I remember once upon a time when I was in New York City, which was 6 months ago. Guess what? I was being attacked. You feel me? By the whites, Hispanic, all these different communities. And they was attacking me. And what was Chuck Schumer? What was Chuck Schumer answer to that? Well, if you don't report about it, then we would not know about it. Oh, word, that's your answer to that? That's your answer to that, huh? You feel me? Like, come on, man. Y'all gotta understand what is going on, man. You feel me? That is your answer to. I highly doubt that's his answer to that. I feel like he felt guilty and he felt the need to want to say something like that when black girls was being attacked daily in New York City. Black men were being attacked. Hispanic people was being attacked in New York City. We seen a fight when the nigga ran over. Like, come on, man. But Chuck Schumer can't tackle that. But once he has something to do with African Americans and Asians, here's Chuck Schumer gay ass running to the podium like a hoe that he is. Fuck Chuck Schumer. I'm gonna come at you because you done made me mad. I said I wasn't gonna come at you, but I got time. So you gonna get this work, hoe ass nigga. But Chuck Schumer ran to the podium like the hoe that he is, speaking, yelling this shit out, knowing like Chuck Schumer, stop it. The reason why you even there, even speaking on these things, because you know you have no answer for what is going on. A lot of Asian communities have lost a lot of businesses. That's just a fact. During the COVID, there's like it's bad because I was watching a documentary probably a month ago about how the COVID-19 has affected the Asian community. Probably not even probably a few weeks ago actually has affected the Asian community, and the Lunar New Year was coming up, and they didn't know how. You feel me? They was gonna cope with that, and they was coming up with different ways and different ways of helping each other out. And I was watching all these things. You feel me? Because I'm a big supporter of the Asian community. I support them without even showing that I support them in different ways. Like I might go to a Chinese store, you feel me? Who doesn't like Chinese food? And I was supporting them in that way when they first started coming out about them being attacked. I'm like, that's fucked up. You feel me? But I've been doing this for years. You feel me? We know about the Asian women that disappear out of nowhere. We know recently that a white man was sex trafficking these Asian women by creating a spa, and I think it was in Philadelphia. It was he created a spa where people can come over there, and they was exchanging sex for money during the pandemic. But yet they don't talk about these things. But you have two incidents that involved African Americans, then all of a sudden it's blown out of proportion. Chuck Schumer come out of his cave, like the caveman he is, and highlighting this big thing when the truth of the matter is these people have been going through this for ages, and they're going through something worse than that, decades now in the United States because they're being discriminated upon. But once Jeffrey say these things, and I point out the fact that, well, the same thing that they complain about in America, that's what the Africans is complaining about in China. I get hated on, and everybody start uniting against me because I said something about it. Like fuck them. No, we cannot. Like fuck yeah, fuck me. But the truth remains the same. You cannot deny that because this is your own companies that support you that wrote these articles. That's why sometimes I like to pull out these articles and stick it in their face because I know they're not gonna hate the people who wrote the article. They're gonna hate the messenger that brought the message forward. You can't hate the messenger, nigga. Everybody know that rule, nigga. Everybody know that rule. So it's all good, man. I'm just gonna leave it alone as that. But Chuck Schumer is full of shit, man. Worry about your chromo and the things that he's doing with the other woman that is unwanted, which is going to be swept under the cover. You feel me? Because that's what they do. Whenever there's one of them being attacked, they always leech and attach themselves on to other things so they can put people to sleep, knowing that that's a bigger message than the Asian thing that's going. The Asian shit, Nick. This is something that has to do with the United States government. They have to pay a little more respect to the Asian community. Plain and simple. It's not just in New York City. It's a nationwide thing that people have to pay more attention to. You feel me? Treat people with respect and treat people how you want to be treated. That's it. The Asian Americans been going through that shit for a long time. Let's just be frank about it. Like, and people get mad because you stand on the opposite side, and I'm like, yeah, I stand on the opposite side because I think for myself. Like, my nigga, I'm not gonna think what y'all think. I'm not, no, nigga, because you refuse to see what I went through when I was there, so I will refuse to see it from your point of view. Because I know your point of view is not good because you ain't even had the courage. You feel me? So stop playing, man. Look at what's going on in New York City. Niggas don't want their mayor. Governor Cuomo, and you know he out there touching people and shit. he he doing he out there doing some other shit. We don't know what's going on. I'm not even gonna judge him allegedly. You know what I mean? Just put that out there. Allegedly, you feel me? And you got Chuck Schumer. We know that nigga, that skeleton ass. He got a few things in his closet, always coming out when you not needed. Like you feel me? Opportunist. He like a hoe. Hoe ass nigga. Don't ever out your mouth when and so many things was happening in New York City and where we was always being the one being attacked. You ain't come out your fucking cage not once, but two people. I seen a video of probably in total four incidents, and two of them was probably fatal. And I'm like, damn, that's fucked up. Compared to what we went through during those time in New York City, come on, man. Come on. I'm not even talking 500 years of slavery and everything. I know that shit sound foreign to y'all niggas. We talking about in recent years between those two. And all of a sudden you want to come out your cave and start talking. Who gave these niggas the right to talk, man? Some of these niggas need to get kicked, B. For real, for real. Like, fuck out of here, B. Word up. Yeah, some of these people, they're just jealous. Like, it's just, you feel me? You can't even, like, they're so controlling. When things don't go their way, they gotta change the narratives and everything else like that. But it's all good, man. God sees all, man. God sees all. I know they don't believe in God. It's just when it's for survival purposes, there's the same niggas that will be, please. When you turn your back, they're gonna want to do something to you. So it is what it is, man. I can't. I just want to talk brief on that. It's not. I'm not hating. I'm not talking bad down upon the Asian community. I just want people to see it and know that the problem is not between black and Asians. You feel me? And it's not. It's far from it. The problem is just the government mistreating on both sides and try to use both sides against each other now. Like it's clear as day. They've ignored both sides. You feel me? And now you got two incidents, and all of a sudden you want to point out and be like, "This is what's going on." Fuck out of here, man. Like, niggas ain't trying to hear that bullshit. It was once upon a time when they was talking about in New York City where they said that the Asian people were not using real meat or chicken to cook the food and everything else. I ain't see Chromo come out. This was a big deal. Of course, they pay niggas to quiet that news down. But you could put up the article on that. I could pull up the article right now if I have to. You feel me? There was like this was pre-COVID. You feel me? Pre-COVID too, the nail salon, and then we started boycotting and be like, we was like, you know what? We're not even gonna go to these businesses that they can't respect us and they beating our women with broomsticks. Nah, it's over. We're not gonna go in there. You feel me? Then COVID hit. Yeah, of course, it's weighing on them heavily. You know what I mean, financially. So of course, one or two of them, you know what I mean, something bad happened. Guess what? It's they're gonna make a bigger deal out of it than what it is, because there's other problems that's there too. It's like the drug use and everything else like that. It's not that tax that is the problem. It's the other problems that has contributed to it to make it seem as if that the taxing them is the problem. Truthfully speaking, that's not even the case. You feel me? If there's that many, come on, man. Like you're not even gonna go into that. That shit don't make sense. I said this and I'm gonna say this again. The people who are attacking them have to be mentally ill. If you believe these people are spreading the COVID disease and everything else like that, then why would you run up on them and beat put your hands on them? Don't that put you in danger of getting some form of COVID disease? That shit don't make sense, man. These people are just opportunists, and the people who are attacking them are opportunists. Like I said, they are opportunists. That's that. We can't believe everything that is being put out there. It's just impossible. Feel me? Just can't believe it. It's like, let's be for real, man. Feel me? Y'all gotta think for yourself, man. For real, for real. A lot of people they just like to. It's sad. Like you give them a little bit of information, they think they know it all. They never let the shit sit down within them. You give a nigga a little bit of info, they start to run with it. Yes, and CNN said, no, nigga, do more research. Have at least three sources. You feel me? Feel me? Have at least three of them from Democrat, liberals, and a third party. That's three sources. The Democrat and liberal shaky. Third party, yeah. If they confirm it too, be like, alright, then yeah, that's true. You feel me? Well, Schumer. I think that's yeah. Cuomo is the one who was touching the girls on one of the Schumer is the one that has been in office all these years and still haven't got nothing done. You feel me? The person who changed New York for good was Bloomberg. Bloomberg was the main reason why New York was the way it is now. You feel me? He did a great job. It wasn't because of no damn Schumer. Schumer ain't doing shit for New York City. Maybe New York State, but I can't feel the difference. You feel me? Let's just be for real. Oh, hold on, I gotta pop one. Let's just be for real, man. These niggas, man, some people just don't deserve the position that they're in. The only reason why we even allow him to be in that position for that long, one, is because of his age. Two, is like his complexion or pigmentation. You feel me? We give him the benefit of the doubt, thinking that he knows better than we do. You know what I mean? He ain't doing nothing for nobody in that position. Instead of doing something for all New Yorkers, you over here playing the divisive game. That's what you're doing. You better not make a video about me ever again. You feel me? Everybody know I'm the king of New York. You know what I mean? All of a sudden he wanna come out of his fucking cave. Fuck out of here, man. Crazy ass nigga. I gotta pop a few pimples. It's amazing. They talk about if you see something, say something. Niggas disgust me. If you see something, that shit don't even make sense. It's amazing. It doesn't make sense at all. If I see something, say something. Who does that law apply to? You feel me? I'm not even talking about a policy. I know that was the law in New York City once upon a time. They tell you if you see something, you say something, right? But even the person that you're reporting it to has seen it too. So it's like if you know what is already going on, right? Why don't you step in as an authority to make sure? It's like police always talk about we have probable cause to believe that, which meaning you think you have probable you know something. That's why you have a probable cause in thinking we can stop this person. If a police was to smell marijuana back in the days, they had a probable cause to stop this individual to question him or check him. But they pick and choose. You feel me? So they always say, well, the reason why I'm even bringing that up because of what Chuma said. He was like, well, if it's something is wrong, then you have to voice your opinion. And I was wondering, who the hell is he talking to? Are you talking to a specific community or are you talking to an individual? Who are you talking to? So I'm going to elaborate on that. So you're saying basically in terms of if you see something, say something. But if you're an authority and you know what is going on underneath your belt, are you waiting for that person to come say? Because saying people just can't come out and say the things that they're going through. You feel me? People just don't. They don't have some form of courage. Sometimes they're embarrassed. Sometimes they're going through the trauma of it all, so they don't have the courage to even say these things. But yet, you as an authority, you in a leadership position, you know what is going on. But yet, you still waiting. Like a whole country can be going down in flames. Well, nobody's reporting the fire, so I'm not even. Well, we gotta wait until they report the fire. Like nigga, like that shit is crazy, my nigga. You feel me? If you see something, you do something. Fuck saying something. You do something about it. Like if you're an authority, you do something about it. Just because the person has not recorded it, it's still wrong for it to be going on. If somebody's selling drugs and nobody called a drug and they called no and the community hasn't called people on them, let's just say somebody, let's just say somebody's selling drugs. Fuck selling drugs. Somebody's being harassed, and the community has not called somebody and hasn't called the right authorities for that harassment. So we just gonna allow it to happen. You feel me? We just gonna allow it. Just allow it to happen because nobody came forward to say that this is what is happening. So we just gonna allow it to happen. We just gonna allow the harassment, the abusement, the assault to go on, and Chuck Schumer. I called people in that position, the Chuck Schumer in them. You feel me? We just gonna play dumb and act like it's not going on, but let it happen to one of them. Watch how these niggas change that language real quick. Watch how hypocritical they become. These niggas is full of shit, man. Telling you, they full of shit, man. When it happens to one of them, oh, they change that language real quick. That tells you how much value they see in you as an individual. When, when, when it's something that opportunists, that's what they are. Come on, move on, my G. Move on, bro. They're opportunists. Once is something that it affects their bottom line, or they can use it as an opportunity for something that will benefit them, or they have some form of interest in it. That's when they step in. But if it's like my black ass, look at my complexion. I'm glowing like a motherfucker. Nigga glowing like my complexion like gold in itself. But if it's my black ass, my nigga, I had to comment myself real quick. That had nothing to do with the topic. It's just a compliment when I take a quick look at myself, I'm like, damn, I look good. This white girl. Anyways, but if it's my black ass, you feel me? These people, man, shit crazy. They will step in, yeah, it's time to go, because this nigga's a stalker. He came out of nowhere. But if it's my black ass, they make it seem like it's not. It's like like you have to go through revenues. You feel me? Look no further than my own situation when everybody know what's going on. But yet we gotta play dumb and act like we stupid. You feel me? But if it was if let me just go change my color to Sammy Sosa style, they'd be like, oh yes, I remember now. Yes, you are right. You are right. I remember now. You feel me? Shit crazy, my nigga. The shit that we gotta deal with. You feel me? Now they're using the Asian community talking about they getting attacked. And that's a lie. I'm sorry. Shout out to all my Asian friends and everything else like that. But once they have you believing that you're under attack, guess what? You're gonna put yourself in a position where you're gonna feel like you're under attack. Of course you've been disrespected. And that's a no brainer and everything else like that. But that hasn't happened in over 30 years. You feel me? It has not happened. Yeah, you might own a business. Some people come into the business and be like, shut the fuck up and start being disrespectful and everything else like that. That's a form of attack too. Those things haven't happened in so long. So why open up exit wounds? Anyway, man, I'm out of here, man.